Hi, and welcome to the Ada K Show. I am Ada K. Brown, and am currently a criminal justice major, and I'm a deaf courtroom commentator. Grab a cup of Java, and let's dive in. Good morning, everybody. There goes my hearing aid. Good morning, everybody. How are y'all doing? I am fabulous. I am ready for Monday, Thursday. I am ready for more Lori Daybell. Oh my gosh, y'all. We are so ready for this woman. And I have, thanks to some of my viewers. Hello, Christy. Good morning, love. Hello, beloved Gerald. Good morning, Elena. Good morning, June. Good morning, everybody. We are waiting for court to open up. And in the meantime, I'm getting our I liked going. I can only do it once stream starts, so it takes me a sec. All right, we got all of y'all in for the I liked. Keep liking, you guys. Good, Christy. Good morning. Christy, if you didn't know, we have a $50 gift card giveaway at the end of the month. And your chance to enter, you go in and like the live and then comment ILIKED, just like come on. There it is. Elena from Spain. There you go, beloved. Thank you so much. Well, while we're waiting, I've got some videos. I have not seen some of these. Some of you may have. I have not. And the video I'm referring to is when Lori Daybell was trespassed and was trying to get her kids in the middle of the night. I don't know if y'all have seen this, but let's roll the beautiful bean footage. Really? I'm hesitant to wear red. This is an orange red, and I'm always hesitant to wear it, but thank you so much. It's festive. Good morning, out and about with Diane. Good morning, everybody. Let's watch this footage. I'm going to jump ahead a little because otherwise,
Welcome to look at this order.
Nothing for a minute. We're not going to watch the entire 30 minutes of this, but y'all, Lori's got some cojones.
I asked an officer to come here last night to do a check-in because I'm worried they're in danger.
But you came over here after being told that you were criminally trespassed.
But I have an agreement saying that
from this residence, correct?
But my order says that it's my time with my kids. They're supposed to be in Arizona. My husband's kept them out of school
from this location.
I just need my kids, and you're welcome to look at this order. They've been out of state, out of school, and my husband's lied to everybody. I'm sure he lied to the cop last night. So this is my
We've been in contact with...
Do you have a victim's advocate I can speak to in the police department, please?
Okay.
Where'd you get this order from?
So this is our mediation order.
Okay.
I also have another copy of the original.
Okay, that's a mediation, not a court order. The judge has not signed that. That's just an agreement between the two of them. And she's saying it's court. It's not.
Copy of the court. This is my time with the kids. My husband's been hiding with them over a month out of state.
We talked to you the other day, right?
Yeah. So I asked for somebody to come in and check in on them to just make sure they're safe because my husband will, or my ex-husband will not talk to me.
So we told you they were safe yesterday, right, on the phone?
We said that on the phone, but they are supposed to be in my custody right now. Yeah, they are. There's no.
Okay, hey, right now we're working through something else, okay?
So
Yeah, if you just want to step
he's
inside,
lied to
we'll come
everyone
talk to
saying
you in
he
a
has.
moment, okay?
He said he's had a protection order against them, and there was nothing. I've never been
Well,
served with
you can
anything.
do a live.
So
He's lied.
Let's see. Go into Discord. Our Discord. If you don't know our Discord, we'll throw it up there in a minute. And I can do a face-to-face live and help her.
To everybody, and he kind
So
of does
what?
this. So.
What were you wanting to happen tonight? Coming over here, were you going to try to take the kids away from her, or what's going on?
No, I'm not taking. I'm just trying to show that I was going to bring this copy to them and say this is my time with the kids.
Okay.
He's had them out of state, and he's been lying. Everyone's protecting them. Like, I know they're nice. My in-laws are nice people, but they've been lied to, saying that there's a protection order in place, and there isn't. My kids are. I'm worried they're in danger because my husband's been doing a lot of things that cause me to worry. He says he was shot at a month ago, and then he went into hiding, and no one in Arizona has seen him for weeks or my children, and he kept them out for over a month with truant absences. I asked an officer to just come over here last night to just make sure they're safe, and he said, I can't do a welfare check or a wellness check.
So did
for
you
some
not hear
reason.
me when I was talking? We were talking to you on the phone the other day, and said we came here because you were here. We came here. We checked on the.
He's the one that she was talking to on the phone. Yeah, he remembers this.
Kids, they
Are
were
you talking about
okay.
yesterday or
Yeah.
the day before?
The day before.
The day before.
I heard so, and I had to call in because I didn't know if that was. I just heard something on speaker. I didn't hear everything. I heard that it wasn't super clear, and so I called in the next day and I said, "Can you? Because I don't want to have to go over there again. Can you send an officer to come check in?"
Came over here anyways when we told you that you
Well,
were trespassing. It doesn't matter, right?
Well, my children are
I
inside, and they're
understand that,
probably in
right?
danger.
They're probably in danger. You know that for sure. Like.
Well, I know what my ex is capable of, and he has a lot of evil people working with him. So I just wanted to make sure my kids were safe last night, and the officer.
So do you think
so
this
I need to
was
speak
the
to a
right?
victim's advocate.
Okay, but you were trespassed, correct? You remember that on the phone?
I asked you if you understood. You stated you did. So.
Okay.
So you understand you're trespassed, right?
Yes, but I believe with my order, I can come and just get my. I'm not going in.
Nope.
Not going into the house.
Nope.
Just.
You trespass from the property. You being on the lawn right now is a violation of that trespass.
No.
Well, I can get off.
Well, it doesn't
Just-
really matter now.
I'm not trying to barge into their house or try and take my. I'm just trying to be peacefully, trying to do what's right and what's in my order.
This is
Is this a order from Arizona?
Yes, it
Hey,
is.
Bill.
They're illegally out of state right now. Like he's keeping them out of school for over a month. I've been searching for them. I don't know what else to do. I asked someone to just come over and see if they're safe last night, and Carlson probably scared him off, saying there's a protection order, and there's no protection order. We can go and look everything up right
This
now.
is Lori.
I haven't seen or talked to my kids. I have a 2-year-old, 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 9-year-old, and they haven't seen their mom for over.
So there is so much drama going into this is her niece. I get them confused. There is so much drama going on in this family. And now the niece is speaking out about this drama. So that's what I wanted you to know. The apple doesn't fall for the tree in the family. Look how she's being. Does that remind you of somebody? Yes. Okay. I found this video. This is interesting. We're going to share it. Now we don't have a lot of time to watch all of it, but I want you to see some of it. And the Lori Daybell female side of the family, y'all. That was Lori's niece. Yeah, I know. Just that little bit.
Hey, just to remind you, I have that tour at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Okay. She would be picking up JJ at 3:45 today at the same school.
Okay.
So she will be there. I don't know how you want to do that or what you want to do.
So did they tell you she's not in there?
Correct.
Okay.
I found that by Florida. She may be. They'll tell her where she's staying.
Okay.
There's a lot of gray area in these matters for us, so it's not real black and white like somebody commits a crime and we just arrest them. So we just showed up. We kind of came into this last minute, so we're kind of getting the story second and third hand. We need to real careful following her around.
I'm not doing that.
Well, we're at a hotel.
School,
you know.
and then I saw this in a wallet, so I came to look at the school. I called the police. I'm not going to try. I'm not irrational or stupid or anything. I
Not a person at all.
I want her to get it out.
Yeah.
She's my wife. I love her to death. Something's going on.
Okay.
And if she wants me gone, fine. I'll do all that stuff. I just don't want to hurt.
Okay.
I just don't want to hurt anybody else. Or to go with it.
The child's in school now. Did you do a welfare check in school? See that he or she or? Okay. Yeah.
She took your car. What are you driving now?
A friend of mine's in Utah.
Oh,
I don't know where my truck is.
Okay.
She took it. I don't know. I suspect she took it because she knows about parking at the airport. I came back last night. It's gone.
What
All
led
my
up to
clothes
this?
are gone from the house.
What led up to this? Is there any correspondence that you've had over the last couple days with her?
Her religious stuff is gone way off the deep end.
Okay.
Just way off.
Yeah.
And it's if you don't agree with her, you're the opposite.
Okay.
So she won't have anything.
When did you last speak to her?
Yesterday when she texted me. She said, we're done. Get out of here.
Okay. When was this paperwork filled out with community groups?
Last night.
Okay. So what about, so these are handwritten, so sometimes they're hard for us to read. What about your correspondence yesterday precipitated filling this out?
When she was on the phone with me and that bishop, I had him on the phone with me.
Okay.
She threatened me physically. She made threats about the kids, about the kid, about the kids come get him. I don't care. We won't be here up for longer anyway. And I've got my God power that the kid get my rest anytime I want. It's just irrational stuff.
Okay. Is the 6-year-old the only child in common?
Yes. We adopted. We made that shit up.
Okay. I think your priority should be there right now.
It is.
And maybe if you don't feel comfortable with her state of mind, maybe figuring out a way to keep him safe, even if that means not being at
I'm going to
school.
go to my attorney's office.
Yeah.
File paperwork for restraining order. If I can do that. I don't have my sister, his grandmother. Take safe, something safe. Okay. There's a few days that I do my work. Got some stuff to do in Houston. I'll come back to week. She can have the house. I don't care.
Well,
She can have whatever she wants. She took $35,000 and she got her money back for a while.
yeah, I want to give you a little advice though. So consult with your attorney, but don't necessarily want to remove the child from the state for too long. Here's the deal. Ultimately, there's two sides to the story. And a lot of times,
it's not going to be long. It'll be
I know. Hang on. A lot of times when we contact the other half of one of these things, they're totally rational.
I'll
with
tell
us,
her she's going. I'll tell her he's
Yeah.
going to go.
Yeah. You just want to be careful not to deny her access to her child. Turns into
I'm going to bring it way up. It shows high on my end. I don't want to blow your ears out, so I've turned it up. I'm going to scoot it back a little bit. Okay, there you go.
She can have the house. I don't
I'm 100% game.
whatever she wants. She took $35,000 and she got her money back for a while.
Yeah, I want to give you a little advice though. So consult with your attorney, but don't necessarily want to remove the child from the state for too long. Here's the deal. Ultimately, there's two sides to the story. And a lot of times,
it's not going to be long. It'll be
I know. Hang on. A lot of times when we contact the other half of one of these things, they're totally rational.
I'll
with
tell
us,
her she's going. I'll tell her he's going to go.
Yeah. You just want to be careful not to deny her access to her child. Turns into a thing. Okay.
This is about him, not us.
Okay.
Okay.
We, as a police department, we're definitely willing participants in helping out with situations like this, but these aren't criminal arrest warrants. These are kind of a sticky situation, and we have to be careful how much effort and force we put into mental health petitions. So,
I've got to get to the bank, see if I can stop this cashier's check. She was also getting my money back.
okay.
I've got $200 on my ring.
Okay.
Payroll is $8,000 Friday. I got to do it, so I can figure out something.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
If you see her, you can call us and we'll come out. But let's forego the.
If I go to the school, she
continued
picks him up at
investigation,
3:45 today. It takes you guys 20 minutes to get there. She's in and out.
Yeah.
This is the victim, Charles Vallow, the father, or the deceased husband.
If if she says it's rational,
This is almost 6 months before his death.
as you say, I think maybe you should get your son out of the school and prevent that from happening.
I may do that, but that's the only place I know where she needs help.
Yeah.
She needs some serious help. I want her to get help. I'm worried about her.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll survive this, but she needs help.
Yeah.
So that's the only way I think we can find where she will be.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to do a sting operation.
It's not a sting. I'm just going to say, I will call and say she should pick him up in a few minutes. So if they can get there, that'll be great.
Okay.
We'll let the guys know, swing shift guys know.
I will, man.
All right.
I really appreciate it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay, so if you were the police, who would you believe? Her or him? I'm just saying. Now, I think we have seen this video a lot where he walks through the home. Now, this is interesting, y'all. This is way interesting. Lori's brother called the funeral home after Chad's death, used fake names and information, not his name, the decedent's name, and wanted to find out how much it costs to cremate and do it immediately.
My name is with their calls. How can I help you today?
We just had a death in the family, and we really don't want anything but a cremation, and then to send the cremains to a family in Louisiana. Just a simple, nothing other than a cremation and sending him to his family for a service in Louisiana. So, is there any way to know a ballpark price on that?
Yes, and I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Hello.
I'll transfer you over to a director who can assist you with the pricing. What is your name, please?
Yeah,
It
that's
is
true.
Chad
But,
Daybell.
man.
How do you spell the last name, please?
Dayball. Daybell.
How are you related to the person who passed?
I'm his nephew.
And then also, this is for the Valley of the Suns in Chandler, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, he lives there in Chandler. I live in Iowa, so I'm just trying to help out.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yes, what is your uncle's name for reference, please?
He is John Dayball.
Well, and that's something interesting, Haley, you say that, because they said, and he agreed, that they could go over there and she's perfectly normal. What can they do? And he goes, yeah, I know, that's the problem. So, yeah, when I worked at the state hospital, 1 minute they're acting just normal as can be and talking to you and you're having a great conversation. And then they go to somebody else and a totally different crazy talk coming out of them. So this is Chad, the lover.
Last name?
Well,
I don't know if they played this in court.
Dayball. The same. John.
Do you have a middle name?
Myron.
M-Y-R-O-N?
Yeah.
And Chad, what is your phone number in case we get disconnected?
Yes. This number 515. I don't actually know my own number. Let me look real quick.
Thank you.
No, this was played in
Is it a nursing home, hospital, or residence?
the other one.
He passed away in a hospital. I don't know the details. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, it's just for to know, because sometimes it's different if it's a residential or hospital or a nursing home.
I'm thinking they're sending him to the medical examiner. I'm not sure. I should have had more information before I called. I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right. Cremation.
Oh, sorry, guys.
To which city?
New Orleans.
80 Music Man.
Okay, one moment, please, Chad. Stay on the line. Let me transfer you over to the director who can assist you with that.
All right, thank you.
Hello, Chad?
Yeah.
Thank you for holding. I do have the director, Clarissa, to further assist you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Funeral director with Solace Sun Mortuary Cemetery. I understand that your uncle passed away.
Yes, and I'm just starting the process for the family. He didn't have many relatives. I'm his nephew. I live in Iowa. But what they want to do, it's, yeah, sad to see him go. Yeah, I think he's going to the medical examiner. I don't know all the details, but what the family basically wants is just to have him cremated there in Chandler and then have the cremains shipped to New Orleans, and we'll deal with the service later. So just trying to get a ballpark price.
Okay. So for a cremation, we are able to do our cremation for $1,695. Now, what that's going to include is the transportation into our care, the transportation to and from our crematory, our basic professional fees, as well as our crematory fee. Now, there's going to be a couple other charges there for you.
Okay.
So we are going to have death certificates, which are $20 a piece with a processing fee.
Okay.
$15 permit fee.
All right.
And then we're able to do that transfer through the mail for you, and that's $150 fee for you.
Okay. Like through UPS or something, I guess.
Okay.
So close about 2,000 probably, kind of a ballpark. Yeah.
Close to, yeah.
Okay. Well, that helps me a lot. I'm going to call one or two others, but I'll get back to you if we come that direction. Thank you so
Good
much.
afternoon,
You're welcome. If you need anything else, give me a call.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
So this guy. Okay. So I can't edit that one. I can edit that one. Can I edit this one? That one I can edit. I've got so many of these things that I can edit, and I'm trying to figure out which ones I can edit and need to edit. Can I edit that one? And then I have that one. Okay. So I'm going to edit this one. Okay. I'm going to do an edit while I'm on live with you. I'm trying to get this done, but I have to be live to do the edit while I talk to you. So what's happening here is that you have a what's the word I'm looking for? He's ghosting. He's trying his dangest to be able to get information. Let's see how I like this. I may like this better. He's trying to figure out how much it's cost to cremate somebody, and he's lying to him. This guy is creepy. Well, I got a message. Sorry. Hi, Desiree. Welcome. We have been watching videos. Yeah, Chad, I want to call him Tad. Chad is gross. I want to just go gross, you know. But anyway, yeah, he's disgusting. So we have been watching. I want to go back to this. No, I don't want to go back to that. We watched a short clip of Lori Daybell niece. Let me get Hamish and little girl in here. Sort of. I don't know. Everybody loves my little kiddos. Okay, maybe that'll work. Okay, so they're hard to follow. We've been watching some videos, and one of the videos we watched, it was the actual footage of the niece. Now, I have put a request for the niece to possibly come on our show. Y'all pray that she accepts. But the niece is also having a major drama with her children, so they kind of. But anyway, we are currently waiting for the Lori Vallow. Let me get it on screen. It should have started minutes ago. So I am waiting patiently waiting for Miss Lori Daybell to come on. So we're waiting for Miss Lori Daybell. Yeah, I'll do that. To come on. Okay, now what?
In Florida right now, we are monitoring. I've seen in Florida right now, we are monitoring reports of an active shooter situation out of Florida State University. That is right there in Tallahassee, where you're looking live. A Florida law enforcement person is telling us right now that a person is in custody, but no specifics on whether or not that person is the shooter. So we are waiting on a lot more information on a developing scene down there in Tallahassee. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Sandra Smith in New York, and Bill, great to have you back today.
Great to be with you. Wish we were here on better circumstances with this breaking news right now. I'm Bill Malugin. John Roberts has the day off. This is America Reports. So here's what we know so far. The university first sent out a report of a shooter at 12:02 p.m. Eastern time, just after noon. The shooting was first reported at the student union on campus. Students were told to continue sheltering in place as of 12:39 p.m.
And of course, as you monitor social media, you see a lot of the videos that are being posted by students in and around the union there. FSU police, Tallahassee Fire, and Tallahassee police are still responding right now at that scene. FSU police are confirming that they are responding to what they are describing as an active scene. Let's get the update now from our senior correspondent with brand new details. Steve Harrigan joins us out of our Southeast Bureau. What do we know, Steve?
Sandra, all this happened just after noon near the Student Union in Tallahassee, Florida State University. You can see from the pictures already a very...
As Desiree, as soon as it starts, we'll hop on over there. But I just wanted y'all to see this.
Very heavy law enforcement presence at the scene, as well as firefighters. A hospital in Tallahassee has said they have been receiving patients from the incident at FSU. Local media is reporting 4 people have been injured from the shooting. That has not been confirmed as yet. The scene seems stable at this point. Police say they have taken 1 person into custody. A shooting, as many as at least 4 injured. Hospital receiving patients from this shooting. Sandra, back to you.
Those are the details right now. Steve, we'll check back in with you shortly. Thank you. Bill.
Thank you. And we want to bring in now our Fox News contributor and former D.C. homicide detective, Ted Williams. Ted, thanks for scrambling to get on for us here as we track this breaking news. Give us your initial thoughts to what you're seeing with these live images here. One of our colleagues, Nate Foy, tells us that he has 2 cousins who are students at FSU, both of them apparently in lockdown right now, one in the gym, one in a lecture hall. Obviously, with these breaking news situations, waiting for details to come in, but there are reports of injuries. Give us your thoughts on what you're seeing.
Yeah, I'm getting reports also, especially from one of the local television stations there, that at least 4 individuals have been hospitalized as a result of the shooting here at Florida State University. They're in a lockdown mode. I understand that schools in that area, high schools and elementary schools, are also in a lockdown area. Law enforcement itself is trying to establish and determine what they have. Do they have actually just one shooter, or are there other shooters? Has the shooter been neutralized? What kind of an arrest has been made? Again, there is confusion on the scene, but law enforcement is certainly there to try to control what is going on there at Florida State University this afternoon.
Ted, we want to deal with what we know so far, and this is a direct statement from the Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare representative. They are taking, and obviously any victims from this, TMH is actively receiving and caring for patients related to an incident that has occurred at FSU at this time. Details are still unfolding, and we do not have specific information to share. However, we want to assure the community that our teams are fully mobilized and prepared to provide the highest level of care and support to all those affected. As you can see, screen left, that's a live shot where emergency vehicles are still arriving on the scene there. One of our colleagues even sending us, it's a visual. It's an app that actually shows the number of first responders on the scene. It is a lot right now, Ted. Obviously, they got a lot of phone calls when this happened.
Yeah, absolutely. When an incident, unfortunately, of this nature happened, at the initial stages, there's always a great deal of confusion. There's a lot of phone calls that are going out to law enforcement. But as we see here, we see quite a few law enforcement officers, first responders that are there on the scene. And it seems as though some of the individuals seem to be walking in a more relaxed state. So I would have to believe that law enforcement at this stage have everything under control. They are trying just to determine what is going on, and I'm sure that they want the students to continue to be in a lockdown state until they can determine just what is taking place completely there at Florida State University. It is my understanding, guys, that this took place and was centered around the Student Union building. There have been certainly eyewitnesses, from what I've been told, that have been able to assist law enforcement in this shooting at Florida State University.
Yeah, Ted, I'm hearing from one Florida law enforcement source. They do have one person in custody right now, though they can't confirm if that person is a shooter or the shooter. So go ahead and stand by for us. Definitely want to loop you back in. But
Okay, there that is. So we're going to have, there's going to, honestly, I hate to say it, it's probably going to be more. It always ramps up at the end of school or at the beginning of school or near major Christmas breaks. So y'all, we need to keep everybody in prayer. Times of make me relieved that my son is nearly graduated and you and I know we don't have pew-pews, lead shooters, but it makes me grateful he's got through 3 years without an incident. I'm the same way. I have a daughter who's going to graduate in the near future. I was hoping this fall, but it may be this spring. We'll see how everything lines up. But that makes me glad I am a student in myself in college. I graduate in December, Lord willing. And I'm doing it all online. I think that's the safest bet for me. I'm sorry. I don't want to be rude, but I'm glad I'm not on a college campus anymore. I did that 10 years ago, and I was on a college campus every day, and it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So, yeah, it is what it is. I'm going to my Discord right now to see if we have any reach outs. My corner. Live Carmelo Anthony's parents to talk at 11 a.m. in Fresno. All right, here we go. I want to see this. This is about the kid that got stabbed.
Kind of standing in the back of the room, just waiting. Again, was asked to leave, still standing in the room. So we are waiting on an update on.
Oh, looks like he just had shoulder surgery. Wherever that is. I think this is the child that stabbed another child in Texas in a track meet.
If you are just joining us now on WFA Plus, I just want to bring you back into what you're looking at there on your screen. This is the Next Generation Action Network office in Dallas. This is a group that has been advocating for Carmelo Anthony and his family. For those not familiar with this case, Carmelo Anthony is a Frisco ISD student who is accused of stabbing and killing another student at a track meet earlier this month. Actually, yesterday marked 2 weeks since this happened, and he is charged with murder in this case. Today, for the first time, we are expecting to hear from Anthony's parents. The president of the Next Gen Action Network says that the parents are wanting to address what they call falsehoods in this case, as it has garnered a lot of attention on social media, a lot of conversation and speculation about what led up to this. And I want to point out, if you look there on your screen, it's kind of hard to see, but right behind the camera that you see, there's a gentleman, you can kind of see his arm, in a blue shirt. We are told that that is Austin Metcalf's father. Austin Metcalf is the teenager who was killed at this track meet 2 weeks ago. We have heard from Metcalf's father. We have heard from Metcalf's twin brother, actually, and we just learned that the reason that this press conference is delayed, it was supposed to start at 11, is because Metcalf's father has arrived here. He's standing there behind that camera. He has sunglasses on. We've been watching him stand there for a few minutes, not really talking to anyone. We're not sure if there's been any engagement between Metcalf and Anthony's parents. We're not sure if there's been any confrontation of any kind. We just know that he has come into the building, that he is standing there, standing by with the rest of the media who's in the room to hear the property at this time.
Yeah, he just had shoulder surgery.
Says they have plainclothes officers there, but Dallas police have been called to come here because
some shoulder injury. He's got it in a low-lying.
Waiting for this press conference to happen, and the reason for this delay is because Austin Metcalf's father is here, Jeff Metcalf. As you know, Carmelo Anthony was arrested, charged with murder in the death of Austin Metcalf. Police say Metcalf.
I wish I had that sling when I had all 3 of my surgeries. This was a knife incident on the edge of the university grounds of the first year.
Was stabbed with a knife at a track meet in Frisco.
For the hearing, Jobin, you cover Collin County a lot. You've covered a lot of cases at that courthouse. Can you compare the security detail for yesterday's hearing compared to others that you've covered?
So I've been covering Collin County for 12 years, covered some high-profile cases in Collin County, now court trials.
Just trying to dim you guys.
Austin Metcalf, who was the teenager who was
We don't know when Lori's going to pop in. She can pop in at any minute. There we go.
If you take a look at your screen now, what you are looking at is video of Jeff Metcalf being escorted out of the co-working space where the Next Gen Action Network's office is by Dallas Police. You see that there. Jeff Metcalf, the gentleman who was wearing the sunglasses and the blue shirt, who's being escorted out, is the father of Austin Metcalf, who was the teenager who was stabbed and killed at the track meet 2 weeks ago. He is being asked to be escorted out of a press conference that is being held where the parents of the child who was accused of killing Metcalf's child are expected to speak. You can see there he's shaking hands with officers. He was asked to leave. That press conference is starting now. Here's Anthony's family.
Wow. We're going to start. Hello. Wait. I got to go, bro. I'm going to go live on TV. Bye.
Okay, I'm gonna spread this across y'all before I get started. Just make sure you let me know if any one of your cameras are
My son's ordering me lunch.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Testing. We all good? Okay. All righty. I want to start off this press conference to say something as a deep note.
No captioning.
A deep note that I can tell America. What we seen at the beginning of this press conference, the father being at this press conference, these are my words. Don't quote anybody. Is a disrespect to the dignity of his son.
I'm with you. It should never happen. A weapon of any kind should never been there. That said,
Next Generation Action Network from the beginning
proven guilty
has respected the loss of life. No matter our opinion of it, we have kept our opinion close. We have not attacked. We have not shared the information that was shared with us about Austin Metcalf, because we respect the dignity of life and loss. And as a minister, I would not attack a grieving family, even if I disagree with them. When I have stood before this podium for people who have died at the hands of law enforcement, I have asked for that same manner of respect. And even when the shoe is on the other foot, I will not do that. And all I'm going to say, so it don't be asked later, is that was disrespectful and just shows you all the character. Who was not invited, he knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family, but he did it. And so I say to people, actions speak louder than words. Okay?
Don't make more than it is.
What he has failed into is the political operatives that want to make this thing a political thing of hate.
The father of the victim came and stood silently in the building, in the near same space behind the cameras. Hello, retired recliner. Everybody, this is Little Miss. I am on a backup account in my son's YouTube. So I think Lori is resting today. There's no jury till Monday. Lori rest Monday. Yes, but they're supposed to be in court today to discuss jury instructions, and they're going to be discussing all that. And she was going to let the judge know if she was going to rest or testify. I don't, but thank you so much for that information. We are waiting. Everybody's waiting. Court TV, long crime. Everybody's waiting for the court to begin over there. It's a hearing, I believe.
Hate, yet bigotry, and yet racism. We have conservative operatives that have been posting nonstop about this case. It is outright disrespectful. We haven't been doing it. The Next Generation Action Network has been here, popular and unpopular. So regardless of what's going on, that was disrespectful. Disrespectful. And I will leave it to y'all to define it. But of course, we want to
move on.
Y'all, I'm Minister Dominique Alexander. I serve as the president of the Next Generation Action Network. Today, I come before you with a heavy heart, but determined in spirit, not just as an advocate, but as a Black man, as a father, as a protector, community, and children. There are 4 critical points I must address today, and I want to make sure that the public and the media and everyone who believes in truth and justice. First, the misinformation about the fund. From the very beginning, there was an intentional disinformation surrounding the fund created in the support of the Anthony family. The Carmelo Anthony Fund, hosted by Give, Send, Go. Let's be clear. The family has not received one dime. Any of the media could have verified this, but we saw on Twitter, we saw on Facebook, and so many different things of the false, lavish life of this family. $800,000 home, purchase Escalade, and private security. Let me make this very clear. The Next Generation Action Network has always had its security detail. Many of you that know us in the Dallas and Fort Worth media know that we have our own security detail. One of the individuals that escorted Carmelo Anthony out of jail is here present with us now. They are a part of the Next Generation Action Network security team. The family hasn't hired any private contractors or whatever, or splurged or whatever. But if they have the audacity to spend money for their safety and security, that's their prerogative.
And they're right.
The family has not withdrawn, and just until recently, just yesterday, they were officially notified by Give, Send, Go that they could start the withdrawal process. But if anybody know about this process, they know that that takes about 2 to 3 days to withdraw from that and actually hit any account. But this blatant propaganda wasn't just about the fund. It was to discourage the public from giving to the fund. That's what this was about. Because just like TMZ was able to call, Give, Send, Go, everybody in the media, in these news outlets that I've never heard before, could have did the same thing. When I first called Give, Send, Go, they gave me every information that I needed. Okay? So that's what I'm going to say on regards to that. Let me make this very clear. This family never authorized a single fund on the GoFundMe platform. All of the funds that were raised on the GoFundMe were all fraud.
It's okay, dude. It happened.
All of the funds that was raised on that platform were fraud, okay? The family was the first to report these funds. One of the funds we identified raised up to $11,000. So a post about anything that stated that GoFundMe took everything down regarding Carmelo Anthony, that was at the request of the family and their supporters. This family never tried to create an account on GoFundMe. The Next Generation Action Network is very well aware of the company's policy regarding raising funds for legal defense, okay? Since this tragedy unfolded, the Anthony family has been subject to unimaginable amount of hate, racism, threats to their safety. People have sat outside their house, sent objects delivered to their door, publicly harassed, online and in person. This is not just about Carmelo. It's about the family who dared to stand and demand justice in a return and receive ugliness that racism in this country still breeds. But let me say this loud and clear. We are not scared. We are not moving. We will not be silent. What I've always said as the president of the Next Generation Action Network, we will never ask the oppressor for permission to liberate our people. We will not ask for permission to stand up for the rights of our children. The Next Generation Action Network has stood on both sides of the fence in ensuring that justice is served. Now, getting to the information that the Next Generation Action Network wanted to share with the public today. And I will go ahead and pass it over to the mother and once I make this statement, okay?
I feel bad for his mom.
There's two more final. For the last week and a half, the Next Generation Action Network has engaged in communications with Frisco ISD to ensure that Carmelo Anthony's due process is not violated. We know that in the state of Texas, there are things that are discretionary things and decisions by the leadership of Frisco ISD, right? There are clear guidance in the state and education code regarding expulsion of a student. We have asked several times. We didn't just rush. We have had these conversations over the last several days. And we have stated that it is just outright wrong to get involved in this. Carmelo Anthony doesn't have to walk. He doesn't have to involve in any senior activities. But Carmelo Anthony is a 3.7 GPA student. And if he doesn't even go to class for the remainder of the year, he would graduate, okay? We've asked that Frisco do not make a decision in this situation. But Frisco ISD has notified of their intent to expel Carmelo Anthony from school 1 month before his high school graduation. That just shows me that Frisco ISD is trying to push off the blame. And what I have not heard the media say, as many media outlets have asked us what went on, I'm trying to find how many of y'all have asked the superintendent or one single board of trustee, why didn't you cancel or postpone? With weather in that magnitude, you couldn't have a track meet in rain or thunderstorm or clouds. Y'all are the media. Ask your journalists, your weather journalists, how the weather was that day and that time. Y'all do that research. Because as a person who is the administrator of your children, you are responsible for the safety of the children. And so it seems as if Frisco ISD is trying to push this off by making this decision that they do not have to make. So the Next Generation Action Network, outside of the legal process, will be going through different avenues regarding to ensure that we fight for the rights of Carmelo Anthony, okay? So in the next coming days, we will be announcing to the public, we will do direct action outside of Frisco ISD administration office because this is outright wrong. You are getting involved in a process that even the legal process has asked us to respect. And we're asking you to do that same thing. You do not have to get involved in this situation. But it seems that even with us going and meeting or having conversations, they have made their mind up. And we want to make sure that the record, that we talk truth to power in regards. I wanted to lay this out to ensure, because of the sensitivity of this case, there are so many moving factors that I have to explain so that this family does not have to explain. Let me say this about the 4th, and let me repeat this so that you guys can go to the Frisco Police Department. The reason why the family or me or anybody with direct knowledge of this cannot talk about the particulars of what happened in that tent, I know you know this is all law, is because if anybody tell you there was an adult near or inside or whatever, this current investigation knows nothing about that. Everybody involved at this point of our knowledge are minors. In the state of Texas, you know we cannot release or talk about minors. So stop asking us the question. Stop. It's no. We can't even do it if we wanted to. Okay? We can't talk about it. So don't ask. There is a court of law that will express everything, will lay out everything We can't talk about it if we wanted to. Okay? So make it clear. Go back, confirm with Frisco Police Department. Go back, confirm with the district attorney. Even in the bond hearing, you didn't see a single thing said about people that was indirect. They're minors. Okay? So stop. The social media, stop. I haven't saw not one person single-handedly get this right in the public. They're minors, y'all. Just stop.
This is true.
We can't. Don't send another inquiry to NGAN inbox. Do this, all of that. That's the reason why we felt like it was important to do this press conference today. We can't talk about it. So if you ask me, I'm just going to look at you, okay? So I'm telling the world, everybody know the state law. I'm not creating it. We can't talk about it. This family can't talk about it. I can't talk about it. Nobody, unless you want to be sued. You release one of those 16-year-olds or 15-year-olds and 17-year-olds name, the law of this land tells you what will going to happen to you. Okay?
I got to stop because of our comments. I want to kind of hit on something. If you are on any school campus, that includes a track field with any kind of weapon, that is instant expulsion. You will be expelled instantly. It's not just about the fact that a life was taken. I think that that is something that some people don't understand.
Okay? So don't ask that question. Finally, in regards to this judge, I do not know Judge Angela Tucker. I've never met her, never known her, never been nowhere near her court. Don't know anything about her until we were notified that she was going to hear the writ. But the ugly attacks on her just shows Black America that no matter what you pick in the ballot box, and that is your constitutional right,
Sorry, hold on.
family, she did everything.
There we go. My bad.
That no matter what you pick in the ballot box, and that is your constitutional right, it's people out here reminding us of the Black struggle in America. This woman is a registered Republican, has been for years. She put herself through school, she raised her family, she did everything. I'm a registered Democrat, proud. I'm the chair of the Dallas County Democrat Resolutions Committee. I don't know that woman. And to call her leftist is just downright. The bond that was given is according to law and consistency with practice. If Aaron Dean can get a $300,000 bond when he killed a Tatiana Jefferson, Carmelo Anthony can get a $250,000. If Amber Geiger can get a $200,000 bond when she kills Botham Judge in his own home, he can get a $250,000. If Roy Oliver can get a $250,000 bond after he kills Jordan Edwards, all white officers, why couldn't Carmelo Anthony be entitled, a child with no background, no criminal background, no endangerment to the community, none whatsoever, be placed on a ELM and brought home?
I kind of agree with you on it, but I wanted to wear it anyway. I did put a darker foundation on. You can't tell because of the hot lights, but boo, I'm going to have to change my makeup before I leave because it's heavy.
Please help me understand. Make this make sense.
He is.
It's consistency It's consistent with practice. After this, y'all, so that we'll know, this will be our final press conference until this trial. We will not speak to the media.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Again, after this, okay? Don't ask for comment, question, or whatever it is. The actions that the Next Generation Action Network take on Frisco ISD will be as separate from the legal process because we want to make sure that Carmelo Anthony's due process. This is going to be a jury case. And then let me make this very clear. This is a case that has not even been indicted. So, under the guise of Texas law, it's not even really proceeding to a trial yet because it has not even went through a grand jury to be indicted. We don't know if a grand jury will indict or not. We don't know. That's in the district attorney's hands, okay? And their legal team is preparing a packet for those things, and we will not be talking about the legal process regarding this case, okay? So after today, I just want the media to know, and I want the public to know, I don't care what you say about me. I've been in this thing for 11 years. I am tried, tested, and proven. I'm gonna just say, I'm from Oak Cliff. Worser things have been said about me, baby. You ain't gotta inbox me, you ain't gotta tell me. I am the first person to tell my testimony. I don't have to prove anything to nobody.
This is not about you, boo! He's making me mad. This ain't about you. It's about those two people and their kid and the family who lost a son. So get off your soapbox and let them speak.
Searching for a better life. Good afternoon. My name is Kayla Hayes. I am the mother of Carmelo Anthony. 3 years ago, my family moved to North Texas searching for a better life. Like so many other families, we wanted to give our children the future we did not have. My husband worked hard every single day to provide for us, to make sure we're in the best financial position possible. As a stay-at-home mom, I made it my life's mission to ensure our children are loved, nurtured, and supported every step of the way. In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Carmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about.
Okay, I amen her because I had a husband who committed a crime and I was the bad guy. They threw me under the bus. I had death threats. I had the home that people broke into. My car was scratched up. I lived what they're living. And I agree with her 100%.
The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week.
Okay, guys, y'all, I have to say, people of color age well. Normally.
Has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger, as well as everyone in our community, everyone involved in the investigation, from the police, the attorneys, and the court staff. Our address and my husband's previous employer's address has been put on all social media platforms. No. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid what may happen to our family. His mental health is deteriorating day by day. We have endured death threats.
Been there.
My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what might happen to her.
That's horrible.
And let me be clear, the claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false. We have not received a single dime from the Give, Send, Go fundraiser. And the co-founder has stated that clearly. In the reality, we were just notified yesterday that we could begin to withdraw funds. And it still takes several days to receive those funds once a request is made. I don't know why.
Depending on when the trial is, I'm willing to get a hotel room for a day or two. You can come join me. I'll do the driving.
We are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair trial. Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to. He's been raised in a two-parent home with structure, stability, love, and we put God first in everything that we do. We believe in the Constitution. We believe in the laws of this state, but those laws must apply to all of us, not just some of us. To be clear, we will not speak publicly about specific details of what happened under the tent on that rainy and awful day. There's an active investigation that everyone involved wants to be full and fair. We believe in the legal process, and that is where the truth will come out. To the family who experienced the loss, my heart truly goes out to you. To those who have supported my family, thank you from the bottom of our heart.
5 hours and 35 minutes. It's 224 miles. It is basically in a part of Dallas. It's north of Dallas. Here, I'll hold it up. I would go. If I had the finances, I would go. At least for a couple of days.
We ask for your continued support, patience, and prayers as we navigate this difficult process. Thank you.
Okay. I don't want to listen to this Yahoo. They're starting over here, but I want to say this. As a person who's been in the shoes like she is, as someone who has had a family member arrested, and convicted, sentenced, spent time in prison for a crime I knew nothing about. He did it on his own. He did it in secret. And I was made the bad person. My kids were affected. I understand where she's standing. We had to do a lot of stuff to protect ourselves. So on this channel, I reported it. But until we go to trial and hear both sides, there will be no judgment. These are kids. These are kids. All right. Ronnie, will you create a case in our case stream and put the documents in there for me? I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so very, very, very much. Do I have a drink? My son just brought me my lunch. So thank you. You are an angel, and you have no idea how much I appreciate you. We are now going to go over to the Lori Daybell. Court is about to start. Let me make sure the volume is up. I will be here, but I'll be camera off so I can eat. What are they? I don't know. Make sure people don't drink from it. Oh, my drink. Oh, wow, Karate Cat Mom. Wow. Okay, so we're back to the court. So, do we have jury coming in or something? All right. Well, we'll Go back and continue listening to this Yahoo.
Y'all, I'm going to
I'm
show
here.
something up of a post. You come for me, I come for you. Sarah Fields. Never heard of this woman. This is the kind of despicable things that led to the father being here. Political operatives motivating this family with hate. Carmelo Anthony posted on something
Texas.
that shows, posted here. These are the type of lies that are threatening this family.
My home state, Texas.
Posting the family's picture. These are the type of lies. She's getting millions of views on this. Sarah, she's even came after me. She's even said all of those things. And now that the public knows exactly what is going on, I asked, because these racist bigots try to prevent us from standing up for our baby, our boy, he should be afforded the same rights that Cal Rittenhouse had, Daniel Penna, and all of the people who have claimed whatever their defense was. He should be afforded the same right. Nobody in the public media has one video camera, but we got the video of Cal Rittenhouse with an AK-47 shooting 3 people in the back. We got that. And he raised more than $2 million publicly, and nobody said anything. So since they tried to come for us, I call for the community's overwhelming support for this fund. The disinformation that was put out was literally deliberate to prevent you from helping this family. And I want you to give overwhelming support to show them the community united can never.
Sorry, I thought I was off camera. My bad.
Can never be divided. And I'm going to say this again, and this is for everybody. Black people in America, while the current occupant sits at 1600 Pennsylvania, Black people in America don't have to pull the race card. It's what we live as a reality every day. It's what we have to teach our children. We don't want to, but we have to. We don't like to, but if we want to sleep at night, we got to. I ain't pulling no race card. I live it. I'm reminded all the time that I'm a Black man in America. And what y'all just showed to Judge Tucker is just reminded that hate and bigotry and racial reconciliation in this country, we have respected the process. I believe that Austin Metcalf is about to.
I'm done. Thank you. Y'all, I don't agree with him in any way, shape, or form. Alana, I'm just waiting for the trial to begin, but I'm not going to continue this speech. My heart goes out to the child and both families involved. But I will not support that talk. I will not support it. Here we go. So I support the young man involved. We don't know what happened. He's innocent like anybody else until proven guilty. He is charged. I feel bad for the victim's family. Greatly feel bad for them. I feel bad for, excuse me, I ate too fast. The parents of this young boy and this guy. I don't know who he is, but he's riding the train. And I will not entertain him, but I do agree with what the mother said because I lived it. It doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter how rich or poor you are. It doesn't matter. When you have a situation like this and this gets public, the case, whether it's this child and the deceased victim, or it was my case, and believe it or not, my case made it East Coast, West Coast news. My husband's, not mine. My ex-husband's, not mine. But I feel for the families on both sides, and I will keep a neutral position until trial and all that. But I do feel that the media and those in the community who are being mean and disrespectful and cruel to the parents of this child need to back the hell off because they didn't do this. That child made the decision to do it himself. Whatever caused him to do it, that's for the courts to decide, and that's where we're going to leave it. Lori Daybell is back in court. Yay! I got the taser ready. If you want me to taser for whatever reason, all you have to do is put a lightning bolt and comment, and I'll zap her. This is true. 17 is an adult and when it comes to criminal acts of certain level in the state of Texas. Thank you very, Christy. Addie, I believe he will be charged as an adult. This is correct. He will be charged as an adult. This is not a color thing. And some people, there you go. Okay. Oh, for those who may not understand, she's wearing a taser belt. And once we would love to see her shocked. Yeah. I've been doing that. And every time an objection is sustained, I zap her. Y'all, I washed my hair this morning and it will stay wet all day. So, I'm going to let it down. It'll help the drying process.
All right. We're on the record on CR 2021-001704, State of Arizona versus Lori Daybell. The state is present, the defense is present, the jury is not present. This is the time set to discuss the final jury instructions. Let me confirm with the defendant that, is it still your intention to not put on any evidence?
Right now, Your Honor, yes. As of this morning, I mean.
Well, do you anticipate that changing?
No.
All right.
But you rest. Oh, I got to do it.
Because that does affect how these instructions will be read to the jury. So for now, we're assuming you're not putting on any evidence. Let's just.
If I braid my hair and I don't unbraid it for 2 days, it's still as wet as it is today. My hair is like cotton candy. It does not let go of water. So it took me 20 minutes just to dry the upper part to get it halfway dried to do bangs. And it's still soaking wet.
Let's go through page by page. I think it's probably.
And I washed it 5 hours ago.
Probably the easiest way to do it. On the cover page, I did correct. I had 2001 instead of 2021, and I corrected the case number. The first instruction at the top, page 2, duty of jury evidence to be considered and rulings of the court. These are standard instructions in Arizona. I'm assuming there's no objection to those from the state.
No objection.
From the defense?
Okay.
On page 2?
Yes.
No objection.
All right. Then on page 3, I did remove the stipulations because I don't think there were any stipulations. So on page 3, direct and circumstantial evidence, production of witnesses and evidence, redacted exhibits. Those are standard. Any objection to those from the state?
Your Honor, I did object to the production of witness and evidence.
I want to hear about that because that's a standard given when we have a situation where we've heard about people like JJ Tiley, Alex Cox. We've heard about Summer. We've heard about Detective Moffitt. None of those people were called at trial. So I think this instruction simply says that neither side is required to call, basically everyone that's mentioned in the evidence.
Yes, as long as the defendant is okay with it. Obviously, I've not seen that previously included in an instruction. My concern was the burden shifting potentially, saying that neither side is required. And that seems to imply or in opposition of the fact that the defendant need not present anyone anyways, ever. That's my concern with that instruction.
All right, before we talk about that one, let me hear from the defendant. Any objection to the direct and circumstantial evidence and then the redacted exhibits on that page?
No, those are fine. Your
Okay,
Honor.
what are your thoughts on the production of witnesses and evidence?
I tend to agree with the prosecutor, but
We got an
That it
agreement.
shouldn't be in there?
Prosecutor? Hell has
correct.
frozen.
Well, if the parties are stipulating that it's not in there, I'll remove it. Is that the case?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Well, we need to take that down.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, by the stipulation of the parties, I'll remove that instruction. I probably should have brought my hard copy because you guys are working off a hard copy on my computer. This is kind of maybe paginated different. So
Judge,
now my
this is
next
prepared.
ones are indictment is not evidence, self-represented defendant. Any objection to those from the state,
No, Your Honor.
from the defense?
No.
All right, then the
Good morning,
comments are
June
not
and
evidence. The
June.
reason I
June.
highlighted that is it was to alert everyone that I did change the language in that a little bit because the defendant's self-represented. It mirrors what I did in the opening, what I read to the jury before opening statements, more or less, in changing it from the attorneys to the prosecutor and the defendant talk to you about the law and the evidence. Are there any objections to that instruction from the state,
Not as changed, no, Your Honor.
from the defendant?
No, it's good.
All right, then we have credibility of witnesses, and on my page 4 is testimony of law enforcement officers, but that might be on your page 5. Any objection to those two from the state
No, Your Honor.
defense?
No objection to the ones that are in there.
All right, then we have expert witness. Any objection to that from the state,
No, Your Honor.
from the defense?
Nope.
All right, based on the defendant's indication that she's not going to be presenting evidence, I would remove defendant's testimony. I would keep in defendant need not testify, and I would remove defendant witness prior conviction if that remains the case. So any objection to that from the state,
No, Your Honor.
from the defendant?
Nope, no objection.
All right.
Okay, I need to give you a live update. There are at least 6 injured after the Florida State University shooting. The shelter in place is still an issue. Florida State and local hospital, they are in all 6 are. The students were instructed to shelter in place at about noon after the active shooting was reported around the university. FSU has canceled classes and the university events for the day, told students to avoid the campus. Florida Department of Law Enforcement said it was responding to the incident at 1:55 p.m. The general assignment reporter that was at the site of the shooting. I'm just glumping. President Trump has been briefed and is monitoring, praying for the safety of everyone at FSU. We have no other further information, but when information does come available, I will break in. Uh-huh. Yeah, I go outside with wet hair. It's
Can we
freezing.
add in there something?
What's
Is this
that?
the time to ask to add something in there?
Go ahead.
The standard 19, the defendant statement voluntary.
Voluntariness of defendant statements.
Mhm.
It would take at least 2 hours to blow dry my hair.
That probably should be in there. What's the state's position?
No objection.
I will add that. I'll add that right after defendant need not testify. Just
I don't
making
have
a note.
girls. I have maybe.
All right, then we have jury not to consider penalty. Any objection to that from the state?
No.
Defense?
Nope.
All right, the state emailed this morning. I think the state wants the alternative presumption of innocence, burden of proof in the Raji's. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
You want to make a record on that?
Your Honor, the current version the court has in here discusses the various levels of the burden of proof for preponderance and clear and convincing, which are not relevant to this. Case law is very clear under Portillo that the court is only required to present the Portillo instruction, which is partially on the next page in my hard copy, which explains to the jury the burden of proof for a criminal case. I think that going through other levels of burdens of proof without understanding or being provided context for that is confusing to the jury, is not necessary, and Portillo does not require it. So we're requesting the court just provide what has been mandated, which is the Portillo instruction.
What's the defendant's position?
We agree. It's confusing.
Okay.
This too.
So I don't have, I think that's just the last two paragraphs, right?
Yeah, from the three standards through the preponderance and the clear and convincing. So it would still have, the presumption of innocence, and then it would go to the beyond a reasonable doubts portion.
Okay, I will, by stipulation of the parties, change that instruction. So it'll read, the law does not require a defendant to prove innocence. Every defendant is presumed by law to be innocent. You must start with the presumption that the defendant is innocent. Then I delete until the last two paragraphs. So then it will read, the state has the burden of proving the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The rest of that paragraph. And then the next paragraph, proof beyond a reasonable doubt is proof that leaves you firmly convinced, and that entire paragraph. Is that the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay. So my pages are not going to be the same as yours at this point. So we'll just go through it a couple at a time. Evidence of any kind, voluntary act, and then absence of other participant. Any objection to those three from the state?
Yes, Your Honor. And the evidence of any kind, I had sent in my email that we should remove acting with the advice of an attorney. The defendant is her own attorney, so she is. I think it should just be a period after evidence is left to the defendant, period.
You're right. I will remove that sentence. So what I would propose is it would read as follows. The state must prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt based on the evidence. The defendant is not required to produce evidence of any kind. The defendant's decision not to produce any evidence is not evidence of guilt. Is that what the state requests?
I would have left the decision on whether to produce any evidence is left to the defendant, period. And then the next sentence, cutting out acting with the advice of an attorney, and then have the last complete sentence as well.
I don't have a problem with that. What's the defendant's position?
I agree.
You agree with the state's
I
wording?
agree with, yes, just to cut that part of the sentence off.
Okay. I already deleted it, so read it back to me, state, please.
Sure. So the state must prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt based on the evidence. The defendant is not required to produce evidence of any kind. The decision on whether to produce any evidence is left to the defendant, period. Then the defendant's decision not to produce any evidence is not evidence of guilt.
So the decision on whether to produce any evidence is left to the defendant. Okay, when we're done, we're going to print out another copy and make sure everyone's on the same page. All right, let me turn to the defendant. We've addressed evidence of any kind, any objection to voluntary act, and absence of other participants.
No objection.
All right, then we have motive. Any objection to that from the state?
We did have.
Okay, Addie, are you talking about court? Right now, they're going over the jury instructions or modifying it, especially since she's representing herself as an attorney. They've got to change a lot of the verbiage. What started the conversation is I washed my hair this morning. I usually, if I want my hair to be dry by 5 o'clock, totally dry, I have to get up like at 6 in the morning and wash it. And right now, around my neck, this whole area from here to here is still very damp. The ends are starting to dry. I blow dry my bangs. But anyway, that started this big hair conversation, which is fine. But right now, they are working on the jury instructions. Lori told the judge that she was not planning on putting forth any evidence. And he's like, boo, you got to decide now, because if you rest, this is how we got to word things. Everything's dependent on whether you rested or not, or whether you testify or not. So it looks like she's not going to testify.
Flight or concealment in the ones that
I'm sorry, you're right. I should have stated I did delete flight or concealment. I don't think it's applicable in this particular set of circumstances. So then we just have motive.
No objection to motive, Your Honor.
And from the defendant?
Yeah, no objection to motive. No objection.
All right, here's where mine's going to change a little bit. I did the charged offense, each instance where it says first degree murder, where it used the numerical first, I changed to a capital spelled out the word first in that, and then in the definition of first degree premeditated murder. And the reason I highlighted in here, there's a couple highlights, a person, and under premeditation, she or a co-conspirator. Those are changes I made to the standard because the standard just says defendant. So let's just talk about the charged offense, the definition of conspiracy, the definition of first degree premeditated murder, and then the definition of premeditation. Any objection to those with the changes that I've stated from the state?
No, Your Honor.
From the defendant?
I'll be right back, y'all. I'm listening.
No objection to that.
All right, then where it's altered a little bit, so there was an accomplice based on liability, based on the result of the crime that I had here. I've deleted that and instead put accomplice, the traditional definition of accomplice, in the definitions section. And I think what I'm going to have to do is we're going to print out a fresh copy and give it to you guys when we get there. And what I've inserted here is elements of a conspiracy, scope of proof of conspiracy, proof of membership in conspiracy, which in my original draft only had the scope, I think, of proof of conspiracy in a different spot.
Correct.
But does the defendant need those printed out to review? Because I have
I was
changed
going to
it.
ask for those to be added, so I
Okay.
did review them with my advisory council.
All right, I want to make sure though that you are literally on the same page with what's going to be read.
Yeah,
So,
I would like them to be printed so I can see them.
all right. We'll come back to that when we get you a hard copy. What I wanted to ask the parties was I initially included the Raji 4.04 for self-defense justification. But in a second look this morning, I think 4.05, which is justification, self-defense, physical force, and it specifically talks more about threatening or using deadly physical force, I think is more applicable. So what's the state's position on that, inserting 4.05 in place of 4.04?
I would agree, Your Honor. This relies mostly on physical force. Obviously, we're discussing deadly physical force here. So otherwise, the jury has to try to implant deadly physical force throughout this entire instruction.
I think they should both be in, but
Well, while we're on the subject, are you requesting any other justification instructions?
well, I was going to ask for that for 2.04A.
For what?
The 2.04A, 2.0401A.
What's that? I don't have them all memorized.
Oh, the Arizona 13204.
Is that a Raji you're referencing or a?
Yes.
Hold on, let me bring them up. What's it called?
It's the Cashion. Is that what that is?
So.
I was on the wrong one.
Yes, but he's claiming self-defense because the kid put hands on him. But the whole point is he knew he's not allowed to have a knife on campus. He's not allowed to have them on the track football field area. It is a weapon-free zone, and he brought a weapon when he should not have even had one at all.
So we are going to be asking for those, but
I don't think I'm clear on what you're asking for.
so we were going to ask for the 4.06, the defense of third person, the 4.07, defense of premises, the 4.11, crime prevention.
What was the crime that was being prevented?
The assault on myself, on my daughter, on my brother.
How was that?
Defense of third person, defense of premises, and defense of or crime prevention.
Correct.
In addition to justification, deadly physical force.
Correct.
All right. Those get really convoluted and long, and there's a lot of repetitive information in those, but the case law says if there's even the slightest bit of evidence, then it's error for me to not give those. So what's the state's position?
Your Honor, I think understanding the case law, the defense of third party would be appropriate. The defense of premises.
I don't have it in front of me, but I think the defense of premises requires that the person be forcing in or trespassing.
Correct,
on
rather
the
than
property.
being invited into the home. So I don't see that justification in defense of premises is appropriate, given the facts that we have here.
Let me look at it, because doesn't it also say or remain unlawfully if they were asked to leave?
I guess we have no, let's see.
There's no evidence of that specifically, but I guess it could be inferred, and that I would hate to risk a reversal on something like that. So let me take a closer look at it.
I think the other question is on that goes to then the lawful possession or control of the premises, given that Charles Vallow himself was paying for the premises, which we have admitted evidence of.
The evidence also admitted is that
We had fist fights all the time. And kids had their rifles on a rifle rack inside the back of their pickup. As long as it was in the pickup, it was locked on a rifle rack. It was a hunting rifle, ranch rifle. As long as it was inside the pickup, they could park the car on campus. different times.
flew into town and came over to that house, not living there at the time. So it does infer it as well.
Well, he's on the lease. That would seem to have some apparent authority to be there, but let me take a look at it.
And also, there were rules amongst all the track people when no other school could be under another school's tent. They have those pop-up canopies to shade, and those students put all their gear and their clothes and their backpacks or duffel bags, and all that's kept under that school's pop-up tent. And so if you were from another school, you were not allowed to sit under that tent. You sit in your own. And that's where the problem was. The student that did the stabbing wanted to sit in another school's tent, and the victim stood up and said, "No, you know the rules. You're not allowed to be here. You need to leave." And the kid that did the stabbing refused to leave.
It refers to criminal trespass, which I think the
Right.
point here is you cannot be criminally trespassed off of your own property.
So I will give the 406, which is justification for defense of a third person. I'm not going to give justification in defense of premises. It requires that there be a criminal trespass. I think it's confusing to the jury also if there's an argument that's made that he committed a criminal trespass because he was on the lease, he had authority to be there, and he was, even if he didn't have authority to be there, he was invited in to get his son.
In lieu of that, Your Honor, then we would ask to add 418, 4.19, defensive residential structure.
Record on 4.11, which is use of force in crime prevention.
Sorry, I was looking at 418 that defense just raised. Let me go back to 411. trying to find 411, but my
So,
search is
uh,
not.
I'm going to hop back to 418. 418 is not applicable. 418 applies to home invasion type situations, and it talks about threatening or using deadly physical force. If the person against whom the physical force is threatened or used is in the process of unlawfully or forcefully entering or having unlawfully or forcefully entered a residential structure or occupied vehicle. So there's no indication that Charles forcefully entered the house. So I'm not inclined to give 418. Does the defense want to be heard further on that?
No, Your Honor.
And then was there another, you said after 418?
I just said 418 and 419. I guess that's the presumption of that.
So 419. That's applied to the residential structure, so that one wouldn't be applicable if 418 is not applicable.
Okay.
So I'm not going to give 419. Did the state look at 411 yet?
Just found it, sorry.
No, y'all aren't missing much. We're just going through the documents. They are trying to make sure, though, because she is representing herself, they do have to make some verbiage changing. Wonderful. Thank you so much for doing the case file in my Discord. Thank you so much. Okay, guys. While they're doing this, I'm going to break in here real quick, give us a little mental break. I brought this up, I think, to Toxic last night. I did see this last night, but I'll go ahead and bring it in right now. This is the documentation for the Commonwealth. I think I'm going to change to this presentation and in bigness. I think I found a presentation site way to do this that I can make this bigger for all of us involved. Yes, I can. Okay, here's the first ruling of the Karen Reed from yesterday. The ruling of the Commonwealth motion to compel reciprocal discovery of the ARCA witness. By the way, y'all, the prosecution's going to be royally pissed. The Commonwealth moves for the order compelling the defendant to produce discovery pertaining to ARCA witness in compliance with the defendant's obligation under Rule 14. The Commonwealth also requests that the court order the defendant to certify its discovery obligations are complete and limit or preclude the defendant from requesting ARCA conduct any further review or testing. They don't want ARCA to do any more testing as of today's date, okay? Or whatever date. After the review of the written submission and oral arguments in motion, the court makes the following rule. Ordered by April 18th, which is Friday at 5 p.m., the defense is to produce to the Commonwealth any outstanding discovery listed under 1, 2, and 3 of the Commonwealth's motion. 1, all bills, invoices, contracts, retainer, engagement letters, or payments that have been created for the defense of the Karen Reed or provided to or from the Reed defense team from March 1st, 24th to present. 2, all emails, letters, and any written correspondence, including text messages at any time between the employees of ARCA LLC and the members of the Reed defense team, including Karen Reed herself. Number 3, all phone ledgers, evidence, phone calls, or text messages between any employee of ARCA and any member of the Reed defense team, including Karen Reed at any time. So that's good. All right. In addition, on April 18th at 5 p.m., the defense must disclose to the Commonwealth any oral representation, arguments, or understandings regarding anticipated reimbursements or payments on behalf of ARCA between the members of ARCA and the defense team, including the defendant. It is further ordered that by April 21st at 2 p.m., the defendant must disclose the Commonwealth any testing underway, not completed, requested, or completed. As to any testing underway, request, or completed that is not completed, the date of the testing will be completed and the results of any test. Meaning, this last paragraph right here, y'all, is going to royally didn't mean to do that, is royally going to upset the prosecution, because what that means says testing underway, when they expect it to be completed, and when it's done, give them the information. So she is not giving them an end date as per se to when they can finish that testing. So that testing can be finished in the second week of trial. Yeah. Go figure. That is going to piss off Brennan royally. I mean, like, sickeningly royally piss him off. Y'all. Okay, back here. By the way, you can find that document at As the Gavel Drops. For those of you who are new here, As the Gavel Drops is located in Discord. You can go there and register and validate your account, and you too can have access to all the court documents you see me reading here. As the Gavel Drops is our #1 supporter, and we support them. Also, for this month, anybody who goes over to buy me a cup of coffee in As the Gavel Drops and donates to them, that money goes to paying for the documents you just saw. They're most often behind a paywall, and their volunteers pay for it with no reimbursement. So we support them, and we are monthly members. You can give one time or monthly. If you do a gift today, I will give you 20 additional entries into the end of the month drawing for a $50 gift card.
.411, just so we're clear, I'm removing 404 self-defense justification. I'm adding in 405 self-defense justification, deadly physical force. I'm going to add in 406 defense of a third person. I'm going to add in 411 crime prevention.
Yes, it's wonderful.
Okay, I think that
No
brings
problem,
us to
Dr.
the definitions.
Thank you so very much. We created a case in
I
our
removed
or you did, or
deadly weapon. I think I had it in there initially because I thought it was in the justification statute, but closer read, it's not. So in the definitions that I have right now, I have intentionally with the intent to, and then intent may be inferred. Then I have knowingly, willfully, knew. And if the state is required to prove the defendant acted knowingly, that requirement is satisfied if the state proved the defendant acted intentionally. Then in the next paragraph, a defendant is criminally accountable for the conduct of another if the defendant is an accomplice of such other person in the commission of the offense, including any offense, and the rest of that paragraph. Any objection to those from the state,
No, Your Honor.
from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
And then here is
Yes,
where
I
I've
know.
inserted the traditional
Not the most exciting thing.
definition of accomplice, because
This is extremely important for us to understand because this is how the jury is going to understand how they can judge her. So what happens here, even though with all the evidence that's been presented, if they don't get this right, like I believe they did not get the proper formatting of it right with the Karen Reed trial, by not separating each charge on its own document, whatever they do here can affect the outcome of the trial.
I deleted the completed act definition of accomplice. So this says accomplice means a person who, with the intent to promote or facilitate the commission of the offense, does any of the following: 1, solicits or commands another person to commit the offense, or 2, aids, counsels, agrees to aid, or attempts to aid another person in planning or committing the offense, or 3, provides means or opportunity to another person to commit the offense. Any objection to that from the state?
No, Your Honor.
From the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Then I have a few more definitions: act, conduct, physical force, and a definition of deadly physical force. Any objection to those from the state?
You said something else I don't see in here, so sorry. Act was a previous page, sorry.
I kind of did it in alphabetical order. So accomplice went in, then act. So act, conduct, physical force, deadly physical force.
No objection.
From the defense?
No objection.
While we're in the definition section, I'm going to have to look at when we're adding crime prevention and defense of a third party, whether there's any additional language in there that would require additional definitions. But other than that, are there any other definitions the state's requesting that I didn't include?
Other than, obviously, the state hasn't looked at either of those, either new instructions requested by the defense to see if there's additional information. So I would have to look at that prior to approving these.
Okay. But other than that, you don't have any that come to mind?
Not off the top of my head, Your Honor.
All right. How about from the defendant?
No, Your Honor.
So then the rest of this is pretty standard. It's the jury foreperson and the closing instruction, and then I have a form of verdict. Any corrections, objections to any of those from the state?
Just the form of verdict, changing that 1 ST as well to first degree.
Okay. There's no, we don't need any interrogatory on dangerous. It's automatic, right?
It would not be automatic.
It's
I don't
not.
believe so, because it does not require the use of a weapon. So we would actually need to have a penalty phase to
Okay,
have that
so
determination.
that would be done in the second phase, if there's a second phase.
Correct.
Okay. Let me turn to the defense. Those last, first of all, any other definitions that you think need to be included that I didn't include?
Hold on 1 second.
It's her way of manipulating, sounding more agreeable. Yeah, I think it's her way of being more agreeable. Okay, Your Honor, that's fine. Okay, yeah. Now I want my way. I haven't zapped her. I want to zap.
Your Honor, we had missed one that we wanted added was mistake of fact 205. I'm sorry, I didn't want to backtrack.
But you are.
Oops.
Amendable. She wants to be amendable. I'm gonna go for a comfort break again. I am so sorry. I'll be right back.
The revised jury instructions from 2 years ago don't have a 205.
Sorry, it's 204. I apologize.
Causation, ignorance of fact, is that what you're talking about?
Correct.
2.0401A. Ignorance or a mistaken belief as to a matter of fact does not relieve a person of criminal liability unless, one, the ignorance or a mistaken belief as to a matter of fact negates the culpable mental state required for a commission of the offense, or two, the ignorance or a mistaken belief as to the matter of fact establishes a defense of justification. So what's the mistake of fact that you think exists?
Your Honor, it's mostly the mistaken of fact that have been presented as evidence in this case, like one shot versus two shot, you were being attacked, you weren't being attacked. It's things that the state is proposing that I'm denying.
Well, you can deny those and you can argue that, but that's not really what is meant by a mistake of fact. It refers to a misunderstanding of the facts that would somehow negate any criminal liability. In other words, you'd have to be under a false belief about a fact. I think an example might be if someone's breaking into your home or someone's coming into your home, you thought it was a burglar and you shoot them and it turns out to be your spouse. That might be a mistake of fact. So a dispute as to what the facts are, what the facts mean, wouldn't warrant this instruction unless you have something else.
That was all. That was what I was thinking.
Okay. What I think I'm going to do is I have to go back to my office in the central courthouse. I have to edit this a little bit. I'll add in those instructions. If you guys can wait here, we'll get you a clean copy by noon. Review that copy over the weekend, make sure there's no other additions, corrections, or mistakes. And then the procedure will be on Monday when the jury comes in. I'm going to ask if the defendant's ready to proceed, and I'm assuming you're going to say that the defense rests. And when that happens, we'll hand out the final instructions, and I'll read the final instructions, and we'll go right into the closing arguments.
Your Honor, then I'd asked defense previously, there are officers who are under subpoena still, that they be released at this point?
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right. And well, anyone at this point can be released from your subpoenas, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I'm just trying to decide the best start time. I'm thinking read the instructions at about 11, break for lunch, and go into the openings early at 1, or you can start and have it broken up by lunch.
I would prefer the court's option of reading the instructions, going for an early lunch, and then not having my closing.
I'll have my staff contact the jury and tell them to report at 11. And then we'll still meet here at 10:30, make sure everything's good on the instructions and the defendant's intentions to rest. And then I'll read the instructions before lunch. That may mean we break a few minutes early for lunch, but we'll have them come back at 1 and go into the closing arguments.
It's up to you.
All right, while we're here, I'm going to call the other case as well, CR 2022-001242. And the state is here, the defendant's here. I'm going to go ahead and set the official trial date to begin May 30th at 9:30 a.m. Actually, 10 a.m., May 30th at 10 a.m.
Your Honor, are we still meeting though the 29th to do strikes?
Yes, I'm going to get to that. I will set a final trial management conference to discuss the remote questionnaire and confirm we're all good to go for the second trial. For May 14 at 10 a.m.
And Your Honor, I will say okay for now. Obviously, we don't have the victim here and we didn't notify him of this hearing. So if that does not work for him, then I will ask to move that.
All right, for now, we're setting the final trial management conference May 14 at 10 a.m. At that time, we'll discuss modifications, if any, to the previous questionnaire. We'll discuss the exact timing of that questionnaire going out, but it'll go out probably May 21st and end sometime on May 26th or 27th, because the 26th is a holiday. And then we will meet on May 29th to go over those responses that the remote questionnaire produces. I'm going to set that for 1 p.m. on May 29th.
Okay, guys, sorry, my hearing aids were not connecting, so I got to go back. I got to see what they're talking about. My apologies. I'm hearing date.
Lunch and go into the openings early at 1, or you can start and have it broken up.
All right, guys, I got to have all the dates.
The revised jury instructions from 2 years ago don't have a 205.
Sorry, it's 204. I apologize.
My apologies.
Causation.
Denying.
I'm getting the
you can deny those and you can argue that, but that's not really what is meant by a mistake of fact. It refers to a misunderstanding of the facts that would somehow negate any criminal liability. In other words, you'd have to be under a false belief about a fact. I think an example might be if someone's breaking into your home or someone's coming into your home, you thought it was a burglar and you shoot them and it turns out to be your spouse. That might be a mistake of fact. So a dispute as to what the facts are, what the facts mean, wouldn't warrant this instruction unless you have something else.
That was all. That was what I was thinking.
Okay. What I think I'm going to do is I have to go back to my office in the central courthouse. I have to edit this a little bit.
Okay, they pointed at themselves and made their finger in the letter L and forehead, then pointed at me and said the L stands for love. Loser. This is loser in sign language. Stupid. Loser. Effing loser. Effing loser. Just saying.
I'll add in those instructions. If you guys can wait here, we'll get you a clean copy by noon. Review that copy over the weekend, make sure there's no other additions, corrections, or mistakes. And then the procedure will be on Monday. When the jury comes in, I'm going to ask if the defendant's ready to proceed, and I'm assuming you're going to say that the defense rests. And when that happens, we'll hand out the final instructions, and I'll read the final instructions, and we'll go right into the closing arguments.
Your Honor, then I asked too, I'd asked defense previously, there are officers who are under subpoena still, that they be released at this point?
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right. And well, anyone at this point can be released from your subpoenas. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I'm just trying to decide the best start time. I'm thinking read the instructions at about 11, break for lunch, and go into the openings early at 1, or you can start and have it broken up by lunch.
I would prefer the court's option of reading the instructions, going for an early lunch, and then not having my
All right.
closing.
I'll have my staff contact the jury and tell them to report at 11. And then we'll still meet here at 10:30, make sure everything's good on the instructions and the defendant's intentions to rest. And then I'll read the instructions before lunch. That may mean we break a few minutes early.
Wouldn't it piss off the judge to no end if she gets in and goes, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I do want to call a witness. Or I'm going to testify on my own behalf. Sorry. Oh, it would piss off so many people.
Early for lunch,
You
but
would do it.
we'll have them come back at 1 and go into the closing arguments.
No, they won't, but I don't think they will, but I would love for it to happen. He's got another trial in May. Depending on how long the Karen Reed goes, we may be going back to her and Karen Reed at the same time in May. I have the Karen Reed slotted until May the 16th. That's kind of what they gave. Now, doesn't mean it's
All right.
gonna happen.
While we're here, I'm going to call the other case as well, CR 2022-001242. And the state is here, the defendant's here. I'm going to go ahead and set the official trial date to begin May 30th at 9:30 a.m.
Trial.
Actually, 10 a.m. May 30th at 10 a.m.
Your Honor, are we still meeting though?
10:30.
At 9:30 a.m. Actually, 10 a.m. May 30th at 10 a.m.
So that'll be 11 our time.
Your Honor, are we still meeting though the 29th to do strikes?
Yes, I'm going to get to that. I will set a final trial management conference to discuss the remote questionnaire and confirm we're all good to go for the second trial. For May 14 at 10 a.m.
And Your Honor, I will say okay for now. Obviously, we don't have the victim here and we didn't notify him of this hearing. So if that does not work for him, then I will ask to move that.
All right, for now, we're setting the final trial management conference May 14 at 10 a.m. At that time, we'll discuss modifications, if any, to the previous questionnaire. We'll discuss the exact timing of that questionnaire going out, but it'll go out probably May 21st and end sometime on May 26th or 27th, because the 26th is a holiday. And then we will meet on May 29th to go over those responses that the remote questionnaire produces. I'm going to set that for 1 p.m. on May 29th.
Your Honor, I received a notice from the state this morning actually about notice of 404B information for that trial. So are we going to set a 404B hearing for that as well? Would that be at the same time, or do you want to do that at a different time?
Let's discuss that on the 14th.
Okay.
I did see that come in as well a couple days ago. So the anticipated schedule for trial, let me confirm with the state. You think the second trial is similar in length to this trial?
I believe so.
So my proposed trial schedule that we talked about is going to be June 2nd, Monday through Friday, June 6th. We'll shore up those hours and where we're going to be physically located, because I don't know if we're going to be in the same courtroom or not. But tentative schedule, June 2nd through 6th, Monday through Friday, June 9th through 13th. Depending on how far we get, I may cancel that Friday the 13th, but I'll let you know at the start of the 9th or the 10th. And then I have to be dark the 16th through the 20th. And if we need June 23rd through 25th, I think that should be enough time. So that's what I'm going to screen through is those dates for the remote questionnaire.
Right. Here's the problem.
Not the next June, you said June 23rd through the 26th, but not the 30th through the 3rd?
No, not the 20th.
Yeah, and here's why I'm thinking that is you completed the state's case in this case in.
That is the Kohlberger trial starting on June the 2nd. Yeah, Kohlberger is starting on June the 2nd and is estimated to run. I have that thing blocked out through September the 8th. That is what they said. So we have the Kohlberger trial. We'll decide which one then to watch. But the Kohlberger trial is starting June 1st, should go through September the 8th. That is what they have the court blocked off as. We have, what am I looking at? We have Corey Richens' trial starts on supposedly Monday the 28th. Yeah. We've got a lot of trial dates that are overlapping here.
It'll be
7 trial days, 7.5 trial days, 8 trial days. And the 2nd through the 12th is already going to be 9 trial days.
I'm going to do that.
And then if something goes wrong, we still have the 23rd, 24th.
Then you can be my guru, Haley Mouse, because I'm trying to catch up on it. Whatever you have in Discord, put in member. You have things that you want to put into our Discord so I can learn more about it. Please put it in our member. What is it called? Our member information drop. Create a Kohlberger file and put anything and everything you have on it because I'm trying to catch up.
4th and 25th. So that's going to be 12 trial days. And some of those trial days I can make longer depending on everyone's schedule. We might be able to start earlier.
All right. The state will ask that we screen them through July 3rd. I just think there is always things that happen, and I would much rather have a jury prepared to stay longer and have them end late than have a jury angry at us because we told them that they would be done on the 25th and something happens and they are not done on that date or they're deliberating later. So I would ask they be screened through July 3rd.
Thank you so much, Pocket, for the notes. Thank you so much.
That would give us over twice as many trial days as we had in this trial.
Caprice, hi, welcome.
We had screened these through the 15th, I thought, of June. So
what's that?
didn't we screen these jurors through the 15th of June? So
no, May.
I'm sorry, of May. So
we screened for 6 weeks and we did it in 2.
I understand, but I guess I don't see that as twice as long as this screening.
We had 21 trial days scheduled in this first trial, and you did it in 7.
I wait 28 days scheduled in the other one. In any case, that's all I'm asking, Your Honor. You can do as you wish. That's my proposal. Just
We can confirm it on the May 14th when we meet at the FTMC. I'm open to it. My hesitation is if we go all the way into the 3rd, I think we're going to run into losing a bunch of jurors who are going to go out of town for 4th of July, and they might be leaving on the 2nd or the 3rd. And I think we're going to lose a lot of jurors just based on that holiday where people go out of town. With that said, the current last day is May.
By the way, Ronnie.
Trial, so is defendant.
By the way, Ronnie.
Want to make a record because I am going to exclude time. I know you object to.
Right, try to pause it. I sent a request to Melanie to see if she'd come on our show.
I do
exclusion of time.
I object to not having it by May 11th. Correct.
You want to?
What?
Do you have anything further than that?
No, just that. Yes. That I would like to have my speedy trial by May 11th.
All right. Well,
If it's not televised, we will follow it the best we can.
Screen the first trial through May 15th. You can't do, and the state can't do, and I can't do 2 trials at the same time. Additionally, the state indicated they need to make arrangements for out-of-state witnesses to come well in advance of the trial. There's scheduling issues for myself. I'm out part of the week of May 19th. I'm out and coming back early the week of May 26th to do jury selection. Additionally, I guess the delay is of minimal prejudice given the current sentences that you're serving. For all those reasons, the court will exclude time from May 11th. The new last day will be June 30th.
What? What did he say?
From May 11th, the new last day will be June 30th.
We're going to trial on June 30th?
All right, let me get these.
I can't. Because I'm trying to get my calendar right.
I guess the delay is of minimal prejudice given the current sentences that you're serving. For all those reasons, the court will exclude time from May 11th. The new last day will be June 30th. All right, let me get these
I don't understand. Somebody help me.
jury instructions, an up-to-date draft for everyone. Please stick around. I'll have my staff drop that off hopefully in the next 15 to 20 minutes. And then again, when you review those over the week.
Okay. So we have some surveillance video. Thanks to my wonderful team of the shooting. Now, I'm going to say right now, if anything can disturb you, if seeing a video with someone with a weapon is going to disturb you, avoid your eyes. But I feel after what we have been through lately, I'm going to play this video. And it is a warning. You will see a weapon with a student. You will see students running. I've not seen it yet. If it gets too graphic, I'll stop.
2 of the wounded who investigate Sullivan has some. For some,
you can see the terror. You can see the.
Okay, I don't want to get in trouble with the audio, so let's go here. I don't know if I can get in trouble with this news station. So this is the school shooting that happened yesterday in well, near Dallas, Texas. It's a school of 900 students. You will see that here is the guy right here with the weapons. I'm surprised he didn't go for the other student that was still sitting up. Oh, he did. And this is the student, okay? And here he is hours later. Shows a 17-year-old turning himself in outside the Dallas Police Department. First thing he's doing is trying to shake the officer's hand like, hey, dude, saying I'm not a threat. Okay. So they're walking him in. There he is going into custody. Look how they don't even get chairs anymore in some jails. They sit on the floor. They sit on the floor. That's bad, y'all. This is a photo that shows Haynes inside the school after an uninvited student let him in an unsecured. Oh, so that's how he got in. Boom. The school. It wasn't the school's fault. Okay, so it was not the school's fault. A student let him in through an unauthorized door. Ah, okay. That makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. All right, so we are done until Monday. The trial you're interested in is Rex. Yes, I would like to see that one too, but you're right. I think he was a senior. There was a shooting. We did cover it this morning. Hello, it's Brit. We did have it. Everybody do your likes because I'm getting ready to draw. Another trial that we're following, Crystal Rogers, supposed to start in June. Ronnie, if we don't have her up, Ronnie, could you do me a favor? Can you clean up that file of cases that are no longer being followed and put her in there as well? I would like to read up on that case. Play the beautiful bean footage. Well, I still have to give a warning because I'm also on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, whatever, Instagram, and here. I'm on 5 different platforms right now. And so I have to be very mindful. Oh, there's Hamish. Hey, look, here's Hamish. Y'all, there's Hamish and Heidi. There are mascots. There are mascots. So make sure you liked everybody. Today is Monday, Thursday. If you celebrate that, blessings to you. If you don't, blessings anyway. But y'all have a fabulous Easter. Have a blessed Easter. Enjoy your family, hug your families, and remember what this time of year is all about and what it is really for. Thank you. So arrest record. What? Before we go, let me look at this. Okay, this is the actual arrest document. Okay, we will go through this at a later date. It's too long for today. But with that, everyone comment like, so yes, so I can get ready to do the drawing, y'all. I want you in the drawing. Please like the stream. We're getting about 50% of you guys. That's not what I want. I want that. We're getting about 50% of you guys liking the stream and registering. Currently, right now, I'm clicking on it. We have 38 people, including myself, who has liked, and we have 17. We're about 50%. I really would love to one day be 100%. So if you've not done it, please click the like button, give me a thumbs up, and comment just like Ms. Addie, I liked. And now we have 18. We will be drawing for an entry into the end of the month giveaway. Yes, it is very important that you like. And if you are on the replay crew, please go ahead and put I liked it, because I go back and at the end of the month, if you liked it, even though you weren't in today's drawing, even if you watch on a replay crew, I go back and pull all those likes and I do one drawing and then that name goes in. So I got a little mosquito bite right there. Okay, Swan, thank you for joining. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the drawing. Karate Cat Mom, congratulations! I try to do at least, if you have more than 10, do 2. Okay, Swan, congratulations! Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. Congratulations to the 2 of you. You have additional entries to the end of the month giveaway. So, unless I get a call from, what's her name? Oh my gosh, I forgot her name. Is it Melanie? The niece to Lori. If I get a response back and she wants to do something live on Sunday night, I will set it up and you will all know. But otherwise, we will be dark this Sunday. It is Easter. I can't imagine her wanting to do anything on Easter. Before we go, let me check and see if she's responded. I told her, I know you probably get a lot of these responses, but I would love to have you on my channel. Nope, no notification yet. So we'll see. We may not hear back from her, but I'm trying. Honey, thank you, Desiree, K-Swan, Addie, Haley Mouse, Kathy L. Oh my gosh, Kathy L. Thank you so much for joining, Desiree, Ronnie, my mods, Haley Mouse and Ronnie. K-Swan, I said, Dawn, welcome, welcome. Glad you were here. There's so many of you here that I can't. Elena, hello, it's Brit. Toxic, Gerald, June, all of you. I can't name all of you. Thank you so much for joining. We will see you here Monday morning, bright and early, for hopefully the closing arguments and possibly verdict in the Lori Daybell trial. Until I see you then, may you be blessed. Enjoy the Easter hunts. No food poisoning from bad eggs and potato salad. And enjoy this beautiful spring weather we're having. And remember, I really appreciate you, and you have blessed me mightily. Till then, see you Monday. Bye. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I hope you have an awesome day. Till next time, take care.